What do you got?
I want to talk about the town of Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Not Jonestown.
No, not Jonestown.
We're not going to Heaven's Gate. That's
No,
Heaven's Gate, right?
That's Heaven's Gate, yes.
Talking about Pennsylvania?
Talking about PA.
All right.
So there was a time in American history where everybody was obsessed with canals. Talking about canals again.
Yeah.
Say it correctly.
Washington
anal.
Washington was obsessed with it too.
Everybody loved canals in the 1790s up until like the 1850s.
Do you know what Washington's
efficient?
Do you know what Washington's original plan was for like Virginia?
What?
He wanted to build a canal in the Potomac River that would like reach like Ohio.
Yeah, they were all about this. Like the Erie Canal system, you know, is one of the greatest industrial like things ever built. That connects the Hudson to the Great Lakes all the way to Chicago and the Mississippi River. You know, this shit is insane. And for whatever reason, America just decided one day we're not going to use these things anymore, even though we've spent a ton of time and energy building them. But in Pennsylvania, they wanted to build a canal system connecting Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. And they pretty much did. And
wait, so there's like a river basically you could take?
It's a series of rivers. It's a water route all the way to Pittsburgh from Philadelphia.
Okay.
It's across the whole fucking state.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One of the lakes, man-made lakes they end up creating it actually turns out being at the time the largest man-made lake on Earth. I forgot what Lake Lawnmog.
Lanamog?
Yeah. Indian
Sounds right.
name.
Sounds right. Let's just go with it.
And it is held back by the South Fork Dam. And the South Fork Dam empties into a river, into a valley, and Johnstown is in this valley. Right?
Okay.
As the canal system, you know, becomes underused, as the railroad gains prominence in the region, it falls into disrepair. Eventually, the Pennsylvania Railroad will end up buying the dam and the lake. They don't take care of it because they don't really care. They just wanted the land to build railroads across. Johnstown, in this time, really has a boom because of the railroad and the new invention of steel works and steel factory foundries.
It becomes a steel town.
Right. This is Carnegie country.
There's a steel town girl. She's there on a Saturday night, right?
Yes.
Living the lonely
she's
world.
She's a maniac.
That's right.
She's a maniac. Yeah. Maniac.
Like she's never danced before.
On the floor.
But Johnstown ends up becoming the #1 supplier in the country, if not the world, of barbed wire. They make barbed wire, and they're making a killing.
Do you like that movie?
That's a movie?
Barbed Wire?
Wire?
With Pamela Anderson. She plays.
Isn't that Barbarella?
That's Barbarella, but isn't there a movie Barbed Wire where she's like a...
Probably.
Like a shitty superhero?
I remember that was a cartoon on Spike TV.
Yeah, Barbed Wire, 1996. It's like Pamela Anderson is like a superhero. It's really shitty.
So, the railroad doesn't care about the dam. So they end up selling it to this guy, John Rolfe.
Okay.
Why is that name familiar?
Muppets.
Yeah, was he a dog?
He was a dog.
He played piano.
Yes. John Rolfe will team up with a famous man named Henry Clay Frick, who I know you know about.
I know the Frick. He's a good man. Well,
Frick
debatable.
is a extremely wealthy, one of the wealthiest men in the country, industrialist. He is
amazing art collection.
Yes, he does.
Yes. Some of my favorite pieces.
John Rolfe was the husband of Pocahontas. That's why that name's familiar.
No, John Smith.
No, John Rolfe.
No, John Smith was the husband of Pocahontas. Rolfe was the guy who founded the colony in Virginia.
John Rolfe. He is best known for being the husband of Pocahontas and the first settler in the colony of Virginia to successfully cultivate a tobacco crop for export.
Well, who the fuck is John Smith then?
I think you're just thinking.
No,
Disney.
I'm right. John Smith is a guy.
Disney?
There is a John Smith. But, no, hold on. That's why I knew John Rolfe. John Smith was an English soldier, explorer, colonial governor, admiral of New England, and author. Jamestown, all this.
Yeah.
He's
the guy.
Yeah, but he didn't marry Pocahontas.
Maybe they just slept together. Who knows?
That's
same time?
just the Disney thing.
My
Yeah.
God.
They just changed the name because Rolf sounds stupid, and Smith sounds cool.
Are you kidding? I had this wrong?
Yeah. John Rolfe, he married Pocahontas.
Okay.
Well,
anyway,
continue.
back to South Fork Dam.
Yeah.
This guy, John Rolfe, and Henry Frick. Henry Frick is...
I'm surprised he lived that long. To marry Pocahontas and make it that far into the future.
Not that John Rolfe. Henry Clay Frick is the brutal, like, taskmaster of the Carnegie Steelworks.
Do you know what happens when you stub your toe around John Frick and you're around
Henry
children?
Frick.
Henry Frick?
What?
He goes, what? Because you're around children, so you go, Frick!
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, this is the guy who famously organized the Homestead. You know, when the workers at the Homestead Foundry went on strike, he hired the Pinkertons to kill them.
Yeah. Brutal guy.
But he founds what's called the South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club at this lake and dam.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And they integrate the dam into the, you know, infrastructure of this club. They stock the lake with tons of exotic fish. And so that the fish don't escape through the spillway of the dam, they put a net across the spillway. Now, this works to keep the fish in the lake, but it also has the dual...
You can catch them.
The dual development of debris getting caught in the net and thus clogging the spillway.
The fucking thing. Yep.
Okay.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
They want, you know, to be as luxurious as humanly possible.
Fucking frick.
So they lower the dam and widen it to let carriages, horse-drawn carriages, go across it.
A little extra water.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Maybe they don't use the best materials and you know, engineering to modify the dam. Anyway, one day it starts raining, and it rains and it rains and it rains for 24 straight hours.
It's a good thing they got that dam.
Very good thing. This is in 1889 at 2:50 p.m.
Wow. Exactly. Very accurate.
The dam fails, and there was an attempt made by some
George Bush don't care about black people.
A lot of the guys at the fishing and hunting club tried to save the dam. They were out trying to get debris out of the spillway, trying to like do anything they can, sandbags. They couldn't do it. They tried to telegraph the town. Didn't make it.
Nope.
And 3.8 billion gallons of water.
Holy shit.
Descend through the valley onto the town of Johnstown.
Oh my God.
That's like Old Testament shit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a wall of water.
Yeah.
If you see that coming, you think the world's ending.
The worst flood disaster in American history.
Has to be almost world history, right?
I mean, there was a Noah.
The whole world.
There was a tsunami.
The whole world
in our lifetimes. 2,209 people are dead. 99 families were wiped out.
Worldwide bad.
It's probably the biggest loss of life until like Pearl Harbor or 9/11.
Wow.
The debris, the town is destroyed, obviously.
Of course, it's just wiped away. Yeah.
It's filled with barbed wire.
Oh my God, you can't even swim.
They can't clean it up.
You can't do anything.
It's incredibly difficult to find survivors or fucking even like clear the wreckage.
It's more of a risk.
Yeah. It ends up being the first real test of the brand spanking new organization, the Red Cross. So this is like their first thing.
Their first mission.
Yeah.
What a mission to fucking start with. They just want to like help like two kids.
The media wants someone to be responsible for this. And so obviously all fingers are pointing at the aristocrats at the South Fork Hunting and Fishing Club.
Yeah. It's their fault.
It will be investigated, and the like engineering companies that overlook the whole thing end up saying this would have happened even if it was at full capacity and had been properly taken
Do you believe that?
So it's an act of God. In 2016, they actually reviewed all this.
Okay.
And under new scrutiny, they decided that no, these guys, because of
It's
what
'cause of
these
them.
guys did, they fucked up the dam bad enough where they ended up killing all these people.
Okay.
But yeah, at the time, it was. Keep in mind, the people that frequent this club are the richest people on earth.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's the most powerful. It's the real movers and shakers.
It's
of
the
America.
Rockefellers.
Right,
It's,
right.
yeah.
Carnegie.
They're
Frick.
not.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling them what to do.
And Carnegie's a steel guy, so you know.
Yes, exactly. This was not his factory though. The barbed wire place. It was owned by somebody else.
Okay.
But yeah, that is my story. The
Scumbags.
Johnstown
It
flood.
was owned by
1889.
Bob Wire. That's why that's the name. He named it after his wife.
I want to
Barb.
put the bucket on your head so bad.
Hi, I'm
just-
Bob Wire. I'd shake your hand, but I don't want to get cut.
It's a little joke we have.
Yeah.
Wow. It's good. That is
His
so
temperament is a bit
disturbing.
prickly.
Oh my god. That's a disturbing story. That's so disturbing.
Is that worse than Jonestown?
I would say so. The
Yeah.
Jonestown were there on their own accord.
That's
Nobody
true.
forced them to go there.
And they did get to.
These poor people were just living their lives.
Well, the Jonestown people did get to go to outer space.
True.
Right. Well, I also think
They returned from whence
No,
they
Heaven's
came.
Gate. Heaven's Gate was in the 90s.
Oh,
We're mixing up our
Jonestown's the
cults.
70s?
Yeah.
I think you have a choice of where to live, and if
Heaven's Gate is the guy from Last Chance to Evacuate Planet Earth before
Yeah.
it was recycled. The Jonestown is
78.
Yeah.
Right?
What's his name? Jones. Jones is his name. Fucking. Why can't I think of his full name? What's his name, Brian?
I'm looking. I'm not an expert in Jonestown. I thought it was the fucking
aren't you?
Heaven's Gate shit.
Yeah, Heaven's Gate was all about the Nikes and the Kool-Aid.
Jim Jones.
Jim Jones.
The People's Temple Religious
Yes,
Group
Right.
in the Jonestown Massacre.
wow, I feel like if
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, if you have a choice of where to live, maybe don't live in something that's called a valley with the only thing protecting you is like a dam. I don't know. Just my 2 cents. I wouldn't risk it.
I mean, there's so many people protected by dams. Like,
Yeah.
New Orleans, you're under sea level. You're protected by some levees. Maybe
I
don't.
prefer Nolan.
if it wasn't for
Don't.
George Bush, though, they would have all been fine.
True.
He's probably right.
We learned that.
Right. Yes. He did say
Kanye
that.
told us.
He told
He told us.
the prophet. Jesus.